the talk I did was all about kind of positive thinking and positive words that we say to ourselves. It was actually inspired by something that Louise did on a graduate webinar, and that was all around a short story that a young girl had written for the Chris Evans short stories. And so I used that as a base and talked about a brain pond, and how the kind of positive words can get squashed at the bottom, so the negative words sit on the top. And so I used this as an analogy to think about how it would be if we could reshape that pond, if we could dredge it out, we could refill it, restock it. And some of the women that I met after I'd done my speech, because I was able to kind of move amongst them and talk to people, which was lovely, you know, were real women that had, you know, through sort of ill fortune and badly founded mistakes and being led by other people, had found themselves where they were. But nearly all the people I spoke to were using the opportunity within the prison to kind of refocus what they wanted to do with their lives. So going into a prison itself is actually quite daunting, because even the building itself it kind of looms over you. It's quite a menacing kind of place, and getting into a prison is quite a sort of menacing process. You know, you have to be sort of patted down, and you have to hand over all your kind of personal belongings, so you're very much kind of stripped bare of all your bits and pieces. So it was a really interesting experience. I met the governor, who was the most inspiring man, really cared passionately about the people in his care, really cared passionately that prison was a place that people could rest a while and refocus themselves, reground themselves and move forward. And that so resonated with me and my practice and what I believe in. A lot of the women that I met in there were using that time in prison to kind of refocus themselves, to use it as an opportunity for self-development. A lot of them were undertaking courses, a lot of them were getting to grips with kind of alcohol or substance abuse. So it was a real time for them just to refocus on themselves and to get a greater understanding of how they were going to take themselves forward. Yes, I'm exploring that with the governor as to how I can go back in, and he's quite, in fact he loved my speech so much, I had to email him a copy, which was lovely, so he'd like me to go back and do some more work, so yeah, I'm kind of exploring how that could be. So I go into a large secondary school in Peterborough, and I work with young people there. It's a school that I previously had involvement with, and so I know the personnel within the school. But now I go in and I work with teenagers that are maybe having anger management problems, or are kind of suffering from self-confidence or self-esteem issues. Or I did actually quite a lot of work around exam times, for exam stresses, and you know, children that were really getting themselves wound up about the exams, and giving them some tools and techniques just to use so they could just ground themselves before their exams, and you know, help them to get the best out of the knowledge they spent all their years at school learning, to actually, you know, be able to put that down during the exams. One girl that I work with, she came to see me. She could barely get out of the house for sort of panic attacks, and was in a really bad way, sort of ending up in hospital with panic attacks, was sort of missing chunks of school. Worked with her for quite a few months, and she was able to sit her exams. She got all A's, 6 of which were A stars and 1 B. And for her, you know, that has been, you know, life-changing. how inspiring. She's been so inspired by the journey that we've done together that actually, you know, she wants to go on and, you know, continue that journey with other people. So, you know, you can't get better thanks than that, really. Yeah. I kind of created the opportunity, really. I said, here I am, this is what I do, can I come and talk to you? What further information do you want? And I kind of created the opportunity, really, and created the dialogue with the school, went in and spoke to them, and I'm kind of now, I have my own badge, I go in and out, it's got consultant on it, you know, and I'm kind of known. I go in the staff room, I chat to the teachers, so yeah, I've become part of the school fabric. So other opportunities I've created is I've been into schools and delivered training to teachers on a kind of confidence and self-esteem and positivity. So yeah, and that's been through kind of emailing out to schools and saying, you know, this is what I do, and then, you know, people coming back and saying, you know, what can you put together for us? And so I then bespoked it around their requirements, so they know their school, and so they give me the project that they want, and I go in and deliver it. It is. It's inspiring that places of learning want to continue to learn, which is really good. And you know, the prison was inspiring for me, really, to kind of realise actually how much work they're doing at that kind of grassroots level to kind of change these people's lives. And so actually the kind of whole coaching philosophy kind of really dovetailed in with that.